Passing it back to Gallant, who turned that over. It's Medley. Dancing in, passing it back, but PEI will intercept and move it out to the side. Now, lovely defensive play by Kaminsky-Roth to kick that out, and another PEI throw looming just about 5 minutes into the first half.
Yeah, just good pressure, good race to the ball. Kaminsky-Roth getting in there first for Team Ontario.
Sent ahead, kicked away by Sophie Gallant. Now Medley looking to dance free, but this will go PEI's way. Well, ever since that first goal, it seems like it's been all PEI so far. As they'll work it back to Langley. Langley will get it going to Mazarol. Up the side, kick through. McVicker dancing down. McVicker off to the races, a foot race here. McVicker attempting to keep it in place. She will. McVicker will play it in. Bouncing ball cleared away by Team Ontario as it's just outside the 18-yard box. Here's a hit just wide of the cage. PEI pushing as the underdog.
Canada's smallest province not being pushed around in this one at all. Great response by PEI. McVicker able to get around that defender, deliver a great ball in there. Just missed a couple of teammates hanging out in the box. PEI super close again to evening this thing up.
Well, it's sent over to Cochran. Cochran chips it over the crowd. It'll be picked up by Cortez Brown, who will play it up to Colangelo. Tried to pass it across, and once again, PEI going to win the ball, but it'll make its way back to Megan Cochran, who will play it to Opong. Dropping it back to Roofer. Sent down that wing, it's Cortez Brown, the goal scorer, who will send Mora through. Mora around the back, puts it on, and off the side of the net and out of play for a goal kick for Lauren McEachran.
And not a bad strike for that position for Team Ontario. Not able to find the target, but not off by very much.
Well, McEachran first at the 2024 Canada Youth Cup, including a Golden Glove winner and second at Club Nationals in 2022. That'll head out of play. Ontario throw looming. It's going to be Patterson on the throw-in. Patterson will collect it, send it back. Lovely one-touch passing by Ontario. As they get it moving to the far right, it's Kaminsky-Roth. Coming up, she's hauled down, and a free kick coming up for Ontario. Chance to break out the set piece for the first time this game.
Well, first time on the free kick. We've, of course, already seen the set piece on the corner. That went pretty darn well for Team Ontario, so let's see what they can cook up this time around. So we pass 8 minutes gone here in the first half.
Sent into the box, cleaned up by PEI. Patterson will send it back in, and maybe another chance for Ontario, but caught offsides. Our first offsides call of the game. And that was a theme of last week. We saw plenty of offsides calls. Those linesmen and women aren't afraid to put up that flag.
Yeah, it was something that happened a lot during the men's tournament. We will see how the women fare here in week 2 of the Canada Games.
A little nudge on the back of Cortez Brown. Ontario will get the free kick. They'll get the ball rolling early. Looking to move it quickly right up to Patterson. Patterson turns, waits. Gallant caused the turnover. Now McVicker. Moving it to Patterson. Now McVicker again attempts to clear. Pass back for Roofer, who will play it ahead. Rolling all the way down that wing. It's Cortez Brown off to the races. Brown will get there first. Cortez Brown attempting to twist away. She'll grab the ball back again. Bouncing ball heads into the box. Comes out to the top. Here's a shot deflected up in the air, and McEachran will glove it down.
A good delivery on the pass. Obviously, the finish not there as that ball takes a hop off a foot, but still good job by Ontario getting into a very dangerous position.
Here's McVicker up the middle. Reardon passed it off, couldn't find a body. This is going to be Colangelo. Losing it for Medley. PEI will work it into their own end as Allison Scott will be the one to leave it for McEachran. Here's Langley. Moving it back over for Scott. Back to Langley again. Captain of Team PEI moves it along. PEI still just looking for an open player here as they'll send it right up the gut, almost giving away to Ontario. Weird backspin on that one will go right into the feet of Patterson, who's brought down hard. And another opportunity for a set piece for Team Ontario.
Yeah, take your time. It's still early in the match. PEI with just a little back and forth passing in the backfield. As soon as they tried to force something, that's when the ball was immediately turned over to Team Ontario. Really early in the match. If you're comfortable with it in the backfield, take your time. Let the players up the field do the work. Find the space. Don't force it and give up an easy turnover.
Well, Opong will send it way into the box, and that's nicely headed away by Addie Langley.
Yeah, solid defense to win the battle there for PEI. Although Ontario going to go back to the corner.
So Ontario back to the corner spot again. See what they can do this time. See if they'll go 2 for 2 as the ball comes way into the box. Headed down. Ontario still pushing, but PEI will deal with that and kick it out of play for an Ontario throw.
Yeah, a little bit too much on that delivery from Team Ontario, sending that ball a little bit deeper than everyone expected. It's still in possession, or at least they were before that one went out.
So goal kick coming up for Team PEI. It's going to be Lauren McEachran, the 2008. And it looks like she'll play it short. Heavy pressure by Team Ontario. They're not going to ease into this game, that's for sure. They're pedal to the metal all the way through. Sent over to McVicker. Rolling ball will head out of play. Looks like this is an Ontario throw. Thrown in, Ontario doing a nice job of keeping it in play. But it looks like the referee thinks it went out, and this will go Team PEI's way. McVicker will play it short. It's going to be passed up to Fian. Sent across to McVicker. McVicker right down the side. Looks like it took a deflection and it'll be a PEI throw. McVicker throws it in. Intercepted by Cochran. Cochran plays it up. Back down, PEI playing the ball over the top, and they might be through. It's Rover. Playing it down the wing. Ontario might play the long ball here. Sent right in, lovely touch by Mora. Just a little bit too much on that one. She might get there anyway, but McEachran comes way out to scoop that one up.
That ball just getting far enough down for the goaltender to get mitts on.
It's Opong. Playing it to Boucher. Sent up the pitch once again. Mora couldn't get ahead on that one. But she'll get her feet on it as she turns. Moore with a nice step over. Down the side, dips it into the box, deflected in front by Colangelo, but lovely read by McEachran.
Ontario starting to put a little more pressure on, spend a little bit more time in the offensive half as this game is moving on. Oh, nice steal.
Ontario getting going again. It's Kaminsky-Roth playing it in, and once again headed away by PEI, but Kaminsky-Roth will get it again. Looking to send it into the box, still can't get it through the PEI defense. It's Patterson to Cochran. Now down the side for Cardoso, into the box, and nicely cleared away once again by Addie Langley.
Some more good ball movement down there, and heads up defensive play as that ball driven out hard by Prince Edward Island. Langley, the 17-year-old out of New Glasgow, PEI.
So Patterson gonna throw it in. Headed right back out by Team PEI. And Patterson will go to work once again. Throws it in once again. PEI will kick it out and send Patterson right back to the throw-in once again.
Yeah, looking for an open option on these throws, but not easy to find. The PEI defense has been solid. The one Ontario goal coming on that goal mouth scramble. It was very difficult for anybody to deal with.
Well, PEI gonna finally get possession here now. McVicker will play it short. PEI have been playing a lot of long balls this game. They like to build it up a bit. We'll see if that changes as this game goes on. They don't have time to do the long balls as Ontario's right on them. Played out to the far side for Cortez Brown. Sending it right in. McVicker will clear that right through the legs of Patterson and out.
Yeah, the defense has been really, really solid for PEI, not taking any sort of unnecessary risks. It may not be the most flashy play to be constantly putting the ball into touch and slowing things down, but it's a solid defensive move, and it's safe at the end of the day.
Sent back for Boucher. Up the side for Cortez Brown. She'll play it up through. Now it's Cochran who will take over. Cochran pinned on the sideline, gave that away, but she'll get it back once again. Cochran trying to push through. Moved along for Opong. Opong. Long ball over the top. Can Ontario win the race? They will. Through on goal, Mora will send it in. Took a deflection, cleared away by Langley. Brought down by Hansen. Sent up, PEI looking to get going, but once again, Ontario right on him as Opong will swing it over for Kaminsky-Roth. Kaminsky-Roth playing it in for Colangelo. Colangelo still with the ball, lays it off. Couple of chances for Ontario on net, but McEachran jumps up high, reaches up, and snags it to keep this 1-0.
Couple of blocks for Team PEI, and when that doesn't work, the goaltender in position makes a good save. Nice job, nice turn there. Get that foot around the ball and rip it at goal. McEachran getting the gloves up.
Well, it's back to a corner kick for Team Ontario. Looks like it's going to be Patterson who's going to swing it in. Patterson puts that up in the air. Comes down for Team Ontario. It's Ruffer who played it along, and shot goes high and wide. And a goal kick coming up for PEI.
So 20th minute of the match at this point, Seth. We're, really into things. Both teams have settled into the match. Both teams really getting a good feel for each other at this point. And despite the the mismatch on paper, on population, what you might see on the map, PEI is certainly not intimidated by Team Ontario.
Well, Ontario will pick it up at center, dribble it in just a bit. PEI hustling for the ball, and this will go Ontario's way. Intercepted by McVicker, who will kick that out of play. Ontario put that back in play. A foul will go Team PEI's way. They'll look to get the ball going quickly, but Cochran in some discomfort.
Yeah, Cochran came in a little bit hard, looking for that ball, trying to win the battle. If the foul ends up against Cochran, who comes away a little bit worse for wear out of it. Get a second look here on the replay as the players go up and heads collide. It's going to take a minute here for Cochran. Of course, player safety always paramount, especially when the head is involved. So we'll take all the time we need here before Cochran gets back up and heads to the sidelines.
Well, we hope that Cochran will be okay. She is the captain of Team Ontario.
Most of Team Ontario set up in the huddle here on the pitch as Cochran back to her feet. PEI all back at the bench going over things with the coaching staff while we have the break in play.
So Cochran's going to have to come off. Ontario will be playing with 10 players.
I don't know for sure, but I assume that there's going to be a sub coming for Team Ontario, Seth. Once again, anything around the head, I think you got to err on the side of caution with that one. But trainers would have been on the field going through any sort of protocols and making any sort of checks with Cochran before she got up and off the pitch.
So for right now, it looks like Cochran is going to stay as she's waiting for the referee to allow her back in the game, and she's back in. There's Opong, playing it to the side for Patterson. Look to give it back to Opong, but Deland intercepted. Cardoso hobbling just a bit, as it looks like this will go Team PEI's way in a dangerous position.
And this is suddenly getting to be a very tough game for Team Ontario. Trying to win the ball and just a kick hard off the shin guards.
Well, Cardoso in some discomfort. Looks like she is going to be okay to keep going. 23 minutes into the first half, PEI looking to ring the twine for the first time in this matchup. It's Allison Scott, as well as Lauren Simmons, gearing up to swing this ball in. Here's Scott, putting it high into the box. Bouncing ball comes down. Ontario will deal with that nicely, as they'll get that all the way to the halfway line. PEI will attempt to play it long. It's Cochran. Up the side for Cortez Brown. Cortez Brown lifts it in. Picked up by Medley. Attempted to play it through. PEI will try to clear, but once again, Ontario swarming them. Here's Cochran. Back to Colangelo. Losing it to Cardoso. Put on goal. Oh, McEachran bobbled it just a bit. Recovered it nicely, and that's what happens when it's been pouring, raining for the last couple of hours here in the capital city.
Ends up being a good release by Patterson. You know, really, it's easy for me to say with the benefit of our Universal Media cameras up here taking a look over the pitch. But Patterson, number 2 in black, has done a real nice job on that left wing, finding empty space, finding herself open for Team Ontario on a couple of occasions when they've had the ball over on the other side of the pitch. If they could get that switch on, find her a little bit faster, Patterson might have a real chance to find some joy for Ontario.
Boucher will get the ball rolling. Ontario looking to get moving. It's Cardoso. Moves it to the wing. Ontario just barely keeping it in. It's Opong. Back to Rufer, who will play it along. Cortez Brown right down the wing. Cortez Brown coming in, stumbles a bit. And McEachran gonna clear it out. It looked like that she thought it hit off a PEI player. That's why she came out and kicked it away, as it will be a throw-in for Ontario.
I think Ontario was looking for a foul and a free kick as well on that attack down the right-hand side, but throw-in is fairly close as Gallant back to the PEI bench with more of the walking wounded going on here in this game. So Sophie Gallant currently off the field for Prince Edward Island. And PEI with 10 men facing the Ontario attack.
Well, this week it'd be 10 women.
Thank you.
We're so used to calling the men's games here in soccer. We had men's all of last week, so please forgive us.
My brain will be completely flipped by the end of this week.
Here's Scott. Up for Simmons. Miscommunication with McVicker as the ball will roll out of play. Kicked out of play by Allison Scott, or it looked like it was kicked out of play there. Sent back in for Scott. There's some PEI fans right there going crazy down on the sideline.
That is a fantastic look.
So Patterson back on throwing duties. Never mind, corner duties. Let's see what Ontario can drop this time. As the ball heads into the box. Bounces down. Slips through to Cardoso, got the shot off, but it is offsides against Team Ontario and PEI ball.
A dangerous look for Ontario, but the flag coming up and shutting that play down. Look, even if the flag didn't come up, it looked like the goaltender was there anyway, in good position to be able to stop that one. So some good work by Ontario, but just getting a little bit ahead of the ball.
Well, Mazarol attempted to slip it through. Ball went out of play for an Ontario throw-in. 12 minutes left to go in the first half, plus added time. Ontario with a 1-0 lead in the opening game of women's soccer at the 2025 Canada Summer Games.
And of course, we talked about it in the men's soccer competition. We'll talk about it here in the women's competition as well. These are short tournaments in soccer because the games are so much longer. It means that you don't play as many games along the way. In these preliminary round matchups, it's just 3 teams in each of these pools. You play each of your opponents one time. That's 2 games, and you need to be at the top of the pool to move on out of the semifinals. So there is just no room for error from the moment the ball is kicked off to start your tournament here in soccer. It's maybe the most unforgiving tournament here at the Canada Games.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The group winners of all 4 groups play for a medal. Everybody else got to play for placement. So, like you said, it makes it a bit unforgiving. We saw Team Ontario finish 5th in the men's division because they allowed 2 stoppage time goals against Team BC. And that was enough not to allow them to play for a medal. As it's out to the wing. Ontario looking for something, sent into the box nicely. Cardoso couldn't get a full head on it. What a great look from her.
Yeah, good setup for Team Ontario, just unable to capitalize. As we pass 30 minutes gone, we'll get another look. Excellent cross. Yeah, and the hands to the face. Oh, I missed that. It was right there.
Ontario looking to turn and go. Now it's PEI. Looking to slip it through. Cochran will intercept. Back on the counter. Playing it in through the crowd. Out comes the keeper, one-on-one, and McEachran will gobble that up. Great job from her so far in this one.
Oh, excellent goalkeeping there. Excellent to go one-on-one challenge. It's a wonderful touch to send that ball forward for herself. One-on-one with the keeper and just no space as McEachran takes it all away from Mora.
Here's Cardoso. Over the top and into the box once again. It'll be another foot race, but this time McEachran will have it a bit easier. As she'll scoop it up, scan the pitch, and roll it off. To Allison Scott. To McVicker. Back to Scott. Moving it along, PEI. Going from right to left. And that one will just roll out of play. And onto the PEI bench, Ontario with another throw. Here's Medley. Wonderful dribbling from her. Medley dips it into the box. PEI will clear as it pops way up in the air and comes down. Sent up high, Cochran. Brought down is PEI's number 6, Mazarol. And it'll be a foul against Ontario. PEI free kick in their own half.
Yeah, Ontario continuing to push. They've had some good looks here as this half has gone on. Of course, PEI has had some good looks as well. This doesn't feel like a game, Seth, where you want to try and sit back on that 1-0 lead and try to defend that all the way to the end. Both teams too dangerous.
Here's Patterson. Dribbling up through. Now it makes his way to Cardoso, who puts another one on. Hit a body on its way to the net. And it'll be cleared away and picked up by Opong.
PEI back in numbers there. There's no way for Ontario to be able to get the ball, get the shot through the wall of white shirts.
Slip through the Medley. Medley holding on, moving along the side. Sends it right into the box. McEachran bobbling in again to the slippery conditions, but she'll hold on.
Yeah, of course, the rain has not stopped throughout this game. It's not really hard rain, but it certainly has been persistent. And while that makes the pitch difficult for all players, maybe makes things the most difficult for the goaltenders trying to get the gloves on the ball.
Well, speaking from experience, it's not very fun to play goalkeeper in the rain, that's for sure. So Ontario once again from a little bit outside the 18-yard box, looking to make something happen as we near the end of our first half. It was a goal in the 3rd minute by Fiona Cortez Brown. That's been the difference maker so far.
Two players behind the ball for Team Ontario. Who will deliver?
Opong sends that right into the box, and it's hit high. and just above.
Yeah, let down on the final touch, but what a great delivery. Wonderful play right off the training ground for Ontario. Perfect weight on that ball to send it in. Opong with a lovely delivery and just doesn't get the final touch as it ends up going high over top of the net.
Yeah, that's a tough one for Paige Rufer to control as it just went over the bar. McVicker moving it along. PEI looking to bring it up the pitch. Bouncing ball makes its way up to Gallant. Sent back down for Team Ontario once again. It's McVicker. Over the top. Here comes PEI, but once again, Ontario dealing with it.
PEI's had a good rush. They've had a nice set piece down toward the Ontario net, but that was a little bit further away from this point in the game. It's been more and more Ontario pushing forward here. PEI just not able to spend a lot of time down in the other end of the pitch, and that's where you want to be. Obviously, that's where you score your goals, and it's always a little bit more tiring to chase around and defend than it is to have the ball under control on your feet.
Well, Ontario were looking for a PK there as PEI take it up the other side. Sent way back to McEachran. McEachran had some trouble controlling it, managed to clear it away. Lauren McEachran has been fantastic so far in this game for Team PEI in these harsh conditions.
She's been busy, she's been solid, she's made a lot of smart plays, she's made a lot of good plays, being aggressive, controlling her area. McEachran's done just about everything you could want your goaltender to do. Needed a little more help on the set piece goal against.
Sent into the box and just wide up into the bleachers. 36 minutes in. PEI with another goal kick. Seemed like they've had a lot of those in this matchup. Simmons will get the redirection. Once again, Ontario just relentless on defense. You turn around and they're right there. Rufer moved it along. She'll get it back once again. Rufer with some space. Will slip it through. Lovely passing by Team O here as it's sent back. And McEachran will let that roll out for another goal kick.
PEI content to let the defenders take it there every time off of the goal kick, see if they can get something rolling, see if they can get something built out of the back as opposed to the just smash it halfway down the pitch kind of goal kick.
Yeah, they love to build up the attack, that's for sure. Some lovely passing by PEI. Ontario looked like they were going to get there, and they will.
I mean, you had the right word a few minutes ago, Seth. Relentless. Every time PEI starts to move forward, Ontario, great foot speed, and they just close that space down.
Sent right down the side, dribbled along, and it's covered up by McEachran.
And there was a player there at the back post for Team Ontario, but McEachran not going to let it get there. A second look as Ontario sends it through the box and claimed by McEachran.
Well, Ontario throw-in coming up here. It's going to be Patterson scanning her options. Puts it over the top. Down for Team Ontario. It's Cochran with a lovely ball. Ontario might be onto something here. Slip down the side. Cortez Brown going to have to hustle to get there. Moving in to get it, and did she get the deflection that she wanted? It looks like she did. Ontario corner coming up.
It was a great job to cover a lot of field very, very quickly by Cortez Brown. Good job done and able to win a corner for Team Ontario here. Final minute of this first half.
Sent into the box by Opong. Right over the crowd and Scooped up once again by McEachran. Looks like she's going to drop kick this one way down the pitch. Sent down, calmly played back ahead by Team Ontario.
That's what I want to see right now if I'm the PEI goalkeeper. I've had enough of this ball being played in my area, in front of my box. No. Let's just send this thing all the way down the pitch. You girls go for a run and help me out a little bit.
Here's McVicker. She'll send it through, redirected. PEI might be in here. Maybe a chance it slipped back. Oh, what a nice look by Reardon. A wonderful, wonderful defensive play by Roofer. And a corner coming up for Team PEI, their second of this first half.
Yeah, very solid defending for Team Ontario. I mean, the right play was to put it back in and go across the box again. Just not able to get it in there as Ontario makes the block, but hey, corner. We'll take that one. How much? 2 minutes being added on, Seth?
2 minutes of additional time in the first half as Cardoso will move it to the outside. PEI looking to go quickly for the throw-in. Sent up Ontario now once again on the counterattack. Thrown across, and here they come. Cortez Brown slipping it through to Medley, who will give it one more pass to Patterson, but McVicker holding her off for now. Now Patterson attempting to keep it in, and she just can't, as it'll be a throw-in deep into PEI territory.
Now, so Ontario doesn't come away with anything here, but force PEI back about as far as they can go.
And it looks like a player on Team PEI has an open wound on the pitch. Sophie Gallant heading off to get that taken care of.
Not the first time in this half for Gallant to have that precise problem. Good news for her, it's almost half time, and they'll be able to properly work on that.
So just to be clear, she isn't injured, but you're not allowed to have an open wound out on the pitch while you're playing, especially when you got those nice white uniforms on as well. You might stain it, as that's sent right into the box and picked up by McEachran.
I'm sure that is the #1 concern. It's the laundry.
Oh, a friendly bounce for PEI, just unable to control it. And now flags up against Team Ontario. And an offsides call coming up. And that's halftime. Ontario's goal in the 3rd minute is all she wrote for this first half of football. Great half from both teams. PEI starting to settle in just a bit, Matt.
Yeah, PEI's look good. They've certainly had opportunities. Ontario's had more time on the ball, but PEI's done very, very well pushing back, and they're not being intimidated here going up against one of the favorites.
Well, it's a rainy evening here in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. Seth Hyde and Matt Little on the call. We'll be back for the second half shortly.
Hello.
Hi, remember me? We bought your old house.
Yes.
We brought some mail.
Oh,
Hey.
the diaper subscription. I forgot to cancel it.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet the memories are coming back now. The BMO app helps you keep an eye on where your money's going.
Like how?
Well, for one, it would have told you this subscription price had gone up multiple times.
It's a lot of diapers.
Well, extra's good. So where's the baby?
Oh, he's right here. This is the baby.
And that ain't no baby.
It takes a village to raise an athlete. For more than 120 years, Marine Atlantic has connected our sports communities with the people, places, and games they love.
I'ma leave it all on the line. Better Better believe I'll get mine. No, never, it's my time. It's my time. It's my time. I'ma leave it all on the line. Better believe I'll get mine. No, never, it's my time. It's my time. It's my time. I'ma leave it all on the line. Better believe I'll get mine. No, never, it's my time. It's my time. It's my time.
Atlantic Lottery is proud to sponsor important community initiatives like this year's Canada Games.
A strong performer uses power wisely. The Toyota BZ4X is the official electric vehicle of the 2025 Canada Games. See our full electrified lineup at shoptoyota.ca.
We need to talk about good vibes only in sports. At Canada Games and beyond.
Que du positif.
Good vibes only. That means everyone has a right to a safe, inclusive environment.
Ça veut dire un environnement exempt d'abus,
harcèlement et de discrimination.
Together, we can stop maltreatment in sport.
Défendons l'équité et le respect.
Let's keep the good vibes going.
pour les athlètes d'aujourd'hui,
et pour ceux de la relève.
If you see something, say something.
élevons nos voix pour un sport sécuritaire.
Good vibes only.
Que du positif.
This is a place where imaginations can run wild. Maybe it's time to come set yours free.
Welcome to Canada Games House, proudly presented by Canadian Tire, a place where Canada Games athletes, their family, friends, and supporters get to come gather, celebrate, and chill out. Suivez-moi, allons voir. Within these walls, we welcome, accept, and respect everyone.
C'est vraiment un espace incroyable dans un site formidable au centre-ville et on a hâte, tous les provinces et territoires s'intéressent pour être ici, puis même les familles.
I actually wasn't expecting this. It's really cool to have a place where your parents can kind of be a part of it as well.
There's a lot of activities kids can do, ping pong or foosball.
I think it's great that we have a place to come here to unwind. It's a great little community inside of the games.
It just has a warm sense of atmosphere about it when you walk in here.
Canada Games are about safe sport, about culture, about good vibes only, and that we have a space that celebrates all of those values.
Thank you, Canadian Tire, for making the Canada Games House a reality. Au revoir et profitez de votre temps aux Jeux du Canada.
Calling St. John's unique is like calling a humpback a goldfish. It's wildly different here.
Dylan's always been passionate about being around the water, and each time he's been to the Canada Games, he just keeps improving.
Having a father as my coach is special to me because we have common interests that we love. I am very proud to represent Nova Scotia for a second time. I'm looking forward to trying to make improvements to my strokes to get personal best times.
Having a child with a disability doesn't mean that you can't be on a stage like this. There is a place.
Here, Dad, this is for you, for all your loving support.
Thanks, son.
Hello.
Hi, remember me? We bought your old house.
Yes.
We brought some mail.
Oh.
Hey.
The diaper subscription. I forgot to cancel it.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet the memories are coming back now. The BMO app helps you keep an eye on where your money's going.
Like how?
Well, for one, it would have told you this subscription price had gone up multiple times.
It's a lot of diapers.
Well, extra's good. So where's the baby?
Oh, he's right here. This is the baby.
And that ain't no baby.
BMO.
Legends aren't born. They're built. Icons don't become icons overnight. What you hear about is the achievement. What you see is the result. But greatness is built on wellness. So here's to heroes unsung, efforts unseen, and distant dreams humbly attained.
Leave it all on the line. Better believe I'll get mine. No, never, it's my time. It's my time. It's my time. I'ma leave it all on the line. Better believe I'll get mine. No, never, it's my time. It's my time. It's my time. I'ma leave it all on the line. Better believe I'll get mine. No, never, it's my time. It's my time. It's my time.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
Be seen, be heard, be remembered. Canadian AV, proud supporter of the 2025 Canada Summer Games.
For generations, we've been nurturing the communities where we live and work. Providing space to grow and preserving the environment that surrounds us. Because we understand that when we invest in communities, we invest in the future. Crosby, committed to community.
We've heard it said, nobody comes here for the weather. And yet, every spring, here they are.
Precision, vision, and strategy. The skills that make a great golfer are the same ones that make a great law firm. McInnes Cooper, an official sponsor of the 2025 Canada Games. Meet us on the course. Come celebrate our sponsorship on August 22nd.
Atlantic Lottery is proud to sponsor important community initiatives like this year's Canada Games.
Hello.
Hi, remember me? We bought your old house.
Yes.
We brought some mail.
Oh.
Hey.
The diaper subscription. I forgot to cancel it.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet the memories are coming back now. The BMO app helps you keep an eye on where your money's going.
Like how?
Well, for one, it would have told you this subscription price had gone up multiple times.
It's a lot of diapers.
Well, extra's good. So where's the baby?
Oh, he's right here. This is the baby.
And that ain't no baby.
BMO. Be seen, be heard, be remembered. Canadian AV, proud supporter of the 2025 Canada Summer Games.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the historic King George V Field from St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. King George celebrating its 100th birthday, here originally built in 1925, right by the lakeside. It's a century old, and it perfectly coincides with the 2025 Canada Summer Games. It's women's soccer here in the capital city. It's Ontario. It's PEI, the opening game of the tournament on the women's side. As we settled the men's side last week, Team Quebec won on penalty kicks against Team Alberta. So we'll see who takes home all the glory on the women's side. Seth Hyde and Matt Little on the call. Matt, thoughts on the first half?
Thought it was a really good first half, all things considered. You know, you can see the rain. The fans are, everybody kitted up with the umbrellas and the ponchos and whatever they can do to stay dry. The players don't have that luxury, but considering the slick field conditions and a slick ball to deal with, there have not been a whole lot of mistakes on there. Things have been good. Ontario making a change here. Coming into the match will be number 16, Danica Menard, for Ontario at halftime. But it was a solid first half by both teams. Both of them had chances. Ontario was just able to bury that set piece opportunity. And PEI, nothing into the net as of yet. Few good opportunities, but nothing on the board for PEI. Manitoba, the other team in this preliminary Group A. Preliminary Group B is Quebec, BC, and the Northwest Territories. Group C, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and the Yukon. And we'll have the opening game of that group, Nova Scotia and Yukon, coming up on this pitch after this one. And quickly, Group D is Alberta, Saskatchewan, and the hosts, Newfoundland and Labrador, who we'll see in action tomorrow.
Well, back underway in the second half. Ontario getting started early here. Oh, just wide of the goal. Almost taking out the ball boy. Great opportunity by Sabrina Mora. Almost making it 2 for Team Ontario.
No reason to wait around here in this second half. Lovely ball.
Look at that strike, too. Ball boy ducking just at the right time to get out of the way. As we're back in play, PEI starting off the second half back to their first half ways of playing the ball short and looking to build up their attack. We'll see if Ontario can keep up this stamina for the entire 80 minutes. It's not easy to pressure the whole game, especially on a big FIFA-certified pitch just like the one here at King George V Stadium.
No, indeed not. That's a lot of ground to cover. 80 minutes worth of football, plus stoppage time in the first and second half as well. But these are all premier athletes out on that field, Seth. Shouldn't be any sort of issues there.
It's Kaminsky Roth playing it down the side. It hops out, and it will go to PEI.
Take a quick look at the medal table as well as we stand right now. Quebec on top, 103 medals. Ontario right behind with 102 up on top. Ontario has 37 gold, Quebec 35.
Goes right through the box. Patterson couldn't get her foot on it. PEI looking to get going.
Yeah, right place, right idea, just out of the reach of Patterson.
Well, PEI played on the first day of competition in the men's division. They played Alberta and lost 3-0. Alberta eventually went on to the final. PEI playing Ontario in the first day. If Ontario wins this one, does that mean that they're going to go on to the final? We shall see. PEI far from out of this just yet. 38 long minutes still to play of this game.
It may not be quite that simple. PEI will be back in action tomorrow, playing out in CBS, Conception Bay South, as they take on Manitoba. And then at the Fortis Canada Games complex, beside Memorial University on Thursday, we'll get Manitoba and Ontario for the rest of this group.
And I hear that the Fortis Canada Games complex is going to be the new home of the Munn Seahawks soccer team as well after the Canada Summer Games.
That only makes sense since it's right there, right beside the campus. That's fantastic. Another project coming together, leaving the legacy behind for the Canada Games.
And it's all about developing the future as well. These facilities aren't just for these 2 weeks. It's for the next generation of talent here in our province of Newfoundland and Labrador.
So St. John's Soccer Club gets to completely take over here at King George.
Here's Kaminsky Roth. Right down the side for Mora. Mora flags up, offsides against her. So the rain continuing to pour down here at King George V Field. A rainy day here in our capital city. As Aaliyah Craswell will be the one to take this free kick for Team PEI. Once again, playing it short. Craswell will get it back, takes a deflection out of play. Well, Matt, this is in our last game of the day. We have Nova Scotia and Yukon later at 7:30 p.m. tonight. You can find that on the Canada Games website, CBC Gem, NTV Plus, or on CBC Sports on YouTube.
So many ways to watch the games, whatever platform is your favorite, and it's all free right across.
Absolutely, that's the best part. And a shout out to all the guys and girls in the truck and all the cameramen and women here for these games, making myself and Matt sound good. They make our job very easy. So a shout out to all of them. They do all the dirty work. As here comes Team O. Coming up the other way, scooped up by McEachran.
Yeah, just a little deflection off the foot, ended up sending that one toward net. Not exactly the shot Ontario was looking for.
Here comes PEI. Moving down the side. Ball gets deflected. Still somehow staying in play. As it's going to be Langley. Moving it back for McEachran. Beautiful pass through, but nobody home. Sent back into the box by Ontario, headed away. PEI attempting to clear, they just can't, and a free kick coming up from dangerous territory. Danica Menard was taken down, a halftime substitute, just outside of the 18-yard box, and we could see a beauty here, Matt.
Yeah, the arm coming over the top. We'll get a second look at it on the replay. As that ball intercepted by Ontario, pulling the arm around the back. That's a pretty easy call for the referee, who was right there on top of the situation.
Well, who's going to take this kick here? Two players lined up. Menard will run over it and leave it off, and it goes sky high and just out of play. A good attempt by Timo.
Now, so hard if you're going to go that way to get that ball up over the wall and then down again to get it on net in a very short space between the spot of the kick and the goaltender.
Well, myself and Matt in week one saw some pretty wonderful goals. We saw an Olympico. We saw a couple free kick goals as well. So there was a lot of beauties in week one, and I'm sure these girls have lots in store for us, as this is only the first game of many soccer days we have in this second week. We're back here tomorrow, as well as Saturday and Sunday.
Everybody proud, everybody loving the highlights. I know a replay of that set-piece goal from the Northwest Territories men's team came across my news feed just a little while ago. So there were beauties all over the men's side, and hopefully we get a couple absolute screamers here in the women's competition.
Well, I have no doubt we will, as Reardon takes it up the other way. Nemhard playing wonderful defense. Reardon creeped up, and it'll be kicked out of play by Ontario, and a nice job by them to avoid the corner kick, and the PEI fans starting to come alive, including PEI Hoodie Man. That's what we'll call him down there waving the flag.
That was just a great one-on-one battle between those two. Ontario able to put it out into touch once they got a little support in the situation.
Well, Ontario looking to throw it down the side, but looks like they'll get a redo here. So let's try this again. It's Nemhard on the throw-in. Nemhard plays it in, intercepted by PEI. Beautiful turn by Fian, who will play it in a wonderful turn by Rupert. Now here comes Team Ontario looking to slip it through, and once again it'll be dealt with by McVicker. Now PEI looking to get going. Cochran down the side for Patterson. Beautiful step from her. Patterson with some room. She'll play it through. They might be in here, in a wonderful defensive play by Langley, who will clear that way out, and the first ball into a backyard of this second week of the Canada Summer Games.
Did not surrender the corner kick. Got that one drilled way up into touch. Well done by Team PEI on the defense.
Well, last week we saw a ball fly out into the main road to our right. This one just going into the backyard as PEI will reset.
Of course, when the weather was nicer, there were folks on the patios out on the those homes abutting King George V field taking in some football action. Doesn't look like anybody's having a party and a barbecue on the back deck here today, taking in the women's soccer competition in the rain.
Hopefully tomorrow will be a nicer day, or even by the end of the night, we'll get a bigger crowd here for this, as St. John's loves soccer. We're definitely a soccer city, as that's slipped through. Out of the net comes McEachran to scoop it up. We've reached the 50th minute of this second half. 1-0 still our score. No goals in 47 minutes of this game, as that'll just roll out of play. Played back in by Team Ontario. Nemhard got the ball moving. She'll get it back once again. Nemhard slips it through. Beautiful ball over the top by Cardoso. Now slip back in, and it'll be cleared away by Team PEI, but not so fast. Cochran puts it on. Hit a body, and it is going to be offsides against Team Ontario.
In there close for Team Ontario, threatening once again as the captain lets go a good strike. That one offside position, as you say, Seth, but still a very good shot. Ontario just continuing to threaten, continuing to cause problems for PEI. PEI defending well, but spending a lot more time defending than they are attacking. PEI still trail by 1. Got to make something happen here in the second half.
So here comes Team Ontario once again. It's Patterson sending it through. McEachran coming out bravely to play it once again, to scoop it up. And she'll get the ball rolling. It's McVicker up the side. Lovely give and go, just a little bit too much on that one as it's kicked out of play.
Now PEI moving down the field a little bit. Can they get some players forward? Have somebody they can get some service into?
It's Cardoso. Resetting, moved along. Ontario will try to get it down the field once again.
That was a wonderful job by Cardoso to steal that ball away for Team Ontario. Get it back into the backfield and just get everybody where they need them.
Coming back across half, Team Ontario look to get moving once again, but it'll be intercepted. Cardoso moving up, slips it through. Oh, gorgeous ball from her. Lovely step over, hauled down just outside the box is Mora, and this will go Ontario's way. It's not a PK, but it will be just outside of the 18-yard box.
Oh, I didn't think they were going to get this call, but the referee gives the foul. And Ontario, yeah, right on top of the box here, is going to get this free kick. Some great footwork in there. And the PEI defender steps in front. Gives that little bit of a bump, and that's too much, says the referee.
Well, believe it or not, these free kicks are the hardest ones, the ones from closer in. You got to choose to go under the wall or around the wall. You got to be pretty talented to get it to go over and dip down just in time. So we'll see if Ontario go for power or precision off this free kick. Danica Menard. Menard puts it up off the bar. Oh my goodness. What a free kick by Menard. She went for power and it almost paid off.
Oh, that was a great one. Well, it's on target. It's literally on target as it ends up hitting the net itself, not in the back, but off the woodwork, up and out. Needed to be down just a tiny bit. Doesn't look like McEachran would have gotten there, but saved by the crossbar.
Well, as Derek Ray would say, the crossbar is still reverberating. That shot was so hard and so powerful as that goes right over the top, headed away once again by Addie Langley, who's been absolutely wonderful so far in this game for Team PEI. Wearing the captain's armband, and she's playing so well in this one, Matt.
PEI continuing to get bodies in the way. Yeah, the defense, you can't say a lot bad about the defense for PEI in this one. They have been real solid. They have shut Ontario down again and again and again. They've limited the chances that Ontario have had in this game. Just need to see something more out of the offense.
Well, here comes Ontario again. Let's see what they can do. McEachran with the save. Huge stop by McEachran. Quick as a cat and twice as deadly to keep that one out.
We're going to take a second look at that one as she shut down Medley right there on the kick and taken away by the keeper.
Here comes Team PEI. Slipping it through. Like you said, Matt, they got to get their offense going here. They've had 2 corner kicks in the first half, and Drake is loving life here. I mean, he is from Ontario, as Team Ontario getting the ball. Drake's gone back home again as PEI looking to move it forward. As I was saying before I was interrupted by Mr. Ontario himself, PEI have had 2 corners, both of them just had a bit too much power on it. They were their 2 biggest chances of this game, as it's Mora bringing it up the other way. Now here's a kick from long range, just up over, And Ontario seemed to have something against those ball boys behind the net.
Ontario moving really, really well here. I mean, we knew they would coming into this one. 5 players on this Ontario team. Danica Medley, Iris Opong, Paige Ruffer, Uriel Nemhard, and Olivia Copella-Tapping all competed for Canada's U15 squad at the CONCACAF Championships last August, played down in Costa Rica, came away with a 3rd-place finish out of that tournament. Now, I mean, I don't know if the ladies U15s get the same kind of treatment that the men's national team does with, you know, the fans outside of the hotel partying until 4 in the morning so no one could get any sleep. But still, it's not easy to go down to Central America and be able to pull out a result like that. So some heavy hitters here on this Ontario squad with a lot of big time and international experience.
You're so right, and the game growing immensely here in Canada, especially after the women's won gold at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. We saw soccer explode after that, and then of course the men's team making the 2022 World Cup for the first time in 36 years, and the inception of the CPL, having soccer in our own backyard in places around Canada. The game is growing, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon.
And of course now the Northern Super League for the women as well.
Yes,
so
that's right.
Professional league right here in Canada for our ladies to aspire to play in at a high world-class level.
And it's great to have some heroes to look up to as well as a female player.
It makes a difference. It absolutely makes a difference when you can see that, and you can see those people, those Canadians, playing at those top levels and even doing so in your own backyard, and know that there's a direct path for you to move forward and be a professional footballer, whereas not very long ago, that path really didn't exist. It's a huge difference in terms of watching these players develop and move forward with their careers. And it doesn't just end at college now.
And can I just say that the Northern Super League might be the coolest league name that we have in Canada, maybe even in North America. Such a cool league name, and you're so right about that. You know, these girls can keep on playing after university, and there's a way better path to the women's national team and maybe even over to Europe, starting with the Super League as a stepping stone for sure. There's another ball in. McEachran once again making a huge save for Team PEI.
As we see in some of these games where you end up with, you know, one of the larger provinces like in Ontario, the most populous province in Canada, going up against literally the smallest province in Canada, you know PEI they've looked good. They've looked like they belong on the pitch with Ontario. They've had their opportunities in this game. But, I mean, be real. They are still the underdogs in this matchup, and they need the defense to be strong. They need the goaltending to be strong in this match. And check in both of those boxes. Prince Edward Island has had that the entire way. And it's all about just getting possession, getting this thing down the field, and hitting back. Here we come.
There's Big Vicar.
Oh, wonderfully done by the D.
Beautiful job by Cochran as it's played up the side. Lovely ball through for Team Ontario as they get going once again.
Just shut that PEI attack down so quickly, so effortlessly. Well done.
Back outside the box. There's a hit. That rolls just wide. Goal kick coming up for McEachran. And back to what you said about PEI being the underdog in the quarterfinals of the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo. Canada met the United States. They had one goal in that game off one shot, which was a PK. And they ended up winning the game due to their solid defending and wonderful goalkeeping. So a win is a win, and if you can have solid defending, defense wins championships, and it won Canada gold in 2020. So if PEI can get on the board here, they can at least come away with a draw if they keep doing what they're doing defensively.
And take advantage of the opportunities that you have. You don't need to have a million shots. You just need a couple of good ones, and to be able to bury one or two of those. Gallant with the wounds of battle, but still out there on the pitch. They were able to get that stopped during halftime Makes a big difference for the trainers to be able to work in a dry dressing room instead of out here in the rain.
Well, PEI will put it back into play. Bouncing ball to Omize. Omize will send it down the side to Patterson. Patterson will get there, flip it into the box. Bouncing ball comes down. Here's Ontario. What a save by McEachran. The ball's still there, but McEachran diving on it to keep that out of the net. That was a close call for Team PEI.
Very close call as we get our second look at this one. Ontario bouncing it in right to the top of the 6 and in further. One save and then off the defender, and McEachran gets back to it and covers it up before it can be found by Ontario. Medley was there, but McEachran taking away the ball in the box. No more damage up on the board.
Langley will move it down the side. Sent through by Team PEI, but cleared away by Ontario. And also back to the analogy we used earlier of defense wins championships. Team Quebec only had 5 goals in the entire men's tournament, 5 goals in 4 games, but they only conceded 1, and that was a PK. So that's a prime example of defense wins championships. They had 3 clean sheets in that tournament. Didn't score, but when they did, they punished the other team on defense. And especially in the knockouts, it makes it easier to have a 0-0 draw and head into penalties and pick up the victory. Sent into the box, and the first shot on target for Team PEI. Madeline Boucher doing a nice job of tracking that down, and it's difficult as a keeper not facing any shots and being faced with a bit of a challenging one like that, as here comes Team Ontario. Omize brought down in the box. Referee shaking her head. Langley kicks it back. PEI under some pressure. McEachran will pick it up. Sends it way down the pitch, but Ontario will put it right back. Omize will leave it off. Now here they come, poke through. Oh, maybe a chance here for Team Ontario. It's poked by and in! Ontario's on the board for the first time in this second half. Danica Menard pokes that through. Ontario have double dipped in this game, 2-0.
A slow roller in almost slow motion for Prince Edward Island. As we get that second look, Ontario getting it in, wins the battle against the defender. A touch there, sends it past the keeper, and no, as it finds its way in. Ontario gets it done again, and they now have the insurance goal, making it 2-0 over Prince Edward Island.
Well, if it was a sunny day out, that pass would have went right to the keeper, but due to these wet conditions, it slowed the ball down just a bit, and just unlucky for Team PEI. Nothing to kick themselves over as Ontario capitalizing on that. They were in the right position, and Matt, that's that relentless pressure they've had, and speaking of it, they might be in again. It's Capola tapping, sending it in, out for a Team Ontario throw. Just 15 minutes left in this game. This game has absolutely flown by for our opening game of the women's division. Not done yet for the day. Nova Scotia, Yukon, 7:30.
Haven't been able to get a score update. Quebec is taking on the Northwest Territories right now over at the Fortis Canada Games complex, the future home of the Memorial University Seahawks. They're in St. John's. That a game going on in Group B action.
So tomorrow as well, we're right back into action. We have the host team, Newfoundland and Labrador, taking on Saskatchewan at 3:30. Same start time as today. And we also have BC and the Northwest Territories at 7:30 tomorrow as well. Ontario doing a nice job once again of pressuring the PEI defense. As it will result in a goal kick, but a nice effort from them. Well, here in Newfoundland and Labrador, we're a bit excited to see the rain come along as we've been dealing with some horrible wildfires for the summer. So to see the rain come along finally and hopefully take care of some of it and make the job easier for the firefighters that have been doing such a great job of trying to fight the fires. And of course, we're with all the families that have been affected by those terrible, terrible fires. Left by Cardoso. Back out for Roofer. Roofer puts that in. Hansen will drop it back. Sent up the side and it'll bounce out. PEI ball.
Especially now with the 2 goals on the board for Ontario, you know, you can see them playing with that confidence right now. It takes the nerves out of things a little bit when you've got that insurance marker. You know that something could go wrong on a rainy, slippery pitch, and you would still be in front of this one. Ontario's been doing very well since that point in the game. They've been able to turn things into offense very, very quickly on a couple of opportunities, continue to pressure the goaltender, continue to keep the ball down in the PEI end the vast majority of the time. Got a player down right now and a substitution being made for Team Ontario. Out of the match is Cardoso, and coming into the match for Team Ontario, didn't turn around to show me your number.
Coming out of the match for Team Ontario was number, did you say coming out?
Yes.
Coming out was Cardoso.
Yes.
And checking in was Sidney Taylor.
There it is. Thank you very much for that.
Well, we saw a bit in the male division. Once a team actually got scored on, a bit of pressure was relieved off them as well. You know, you see PEI coming out here and just trying to shut down defense. Don't let Ontario score again. Don't let Ontario score again. Let's at least try to get a goal. And they were kind of playing a bit uptight here in the second half so far. But now that they're down by 2, we might see a more relaxed game from them.
I mean, the mission is still don't concede anymore going forward for Prince Edward Island as the goaltender comes way out to drill that one up the pitch. Oh, good job to keep it in for Ontario.
Oh, that's a brilliant ball into the box, but the flag is up. Everybody looked right over to the lineswoman there.
Yeah, of course, you know, goal difference, things like that do make a difference. We again come back to the men's competition where Newfoundland and Labrador and Manitoba ended up tied in just every conceivable category trying to determine something between the 2 teams. And they ended up having to come back and do an extra penalty shootout to see who would be second and who would be third in the pool. Just certainly one more goal by either of those teams, for or against, we would not have had to go all the way to a shootout. But that's the way that that group finished. So everything's important all along the way here.
Here comes Team Ontario moving through, and the flag's up once again. Well, believe it or not, if all 3 teams in the group are tied, we see a more in-depth procedure of tie-breaking. But if it's only 2 teams, we only see 2 steps, and then it's a penalty shootout. Here comes Team Ontario once again. Along the top of the box. Oh, what a hit! Top shelf where Mom hides the cookies. What a goal by Paige Roofer. And Matt, let me tell you, she roofed that one to make it 3-0 for Team Ontario.
Talking a little bit earlier in this game, hopefully throughout this competition, we see some big goals, we see some screamers. That one was a screamer into the top of the net. A beauty of a shot, drilled it. Let's take a second look at this one. From just right on the top of the 18, put something behind it, and bam, into the top of the cage. Absolutely beauty goal for Team Ontario. Nothing PEI could do about that one. That was a laser beam into the net, and a 3-0 lead now for Team Ontario.
Well, checking into the game is Maria Curley. for Team PEI. Coming out number 4, Haley Feen. Each team permitted to make 5 subs in a game. If a player is subbed off, they are not permitted to come back on. Pull a pair of headers as Ontario look to move it forward, but it goes out of play. PEI just looking for 1 goal, and Matt, I said earlier, Alberta beating PEI 3-0 on the men's side in the opening game, going to the finals. Ontario up 3-0 on the women's side. Will the stars align?
Don't know if it's that simple. We've got a long way to go, but certainly it's a fantastic start for Team Ontario as they look to defend the gold medal at the Canada Games.
Well, Quebec went back-to-back on the men's side. Ontario looking to do the same. Looking to avenge their men's team for their 5th place finish. Again, they were stuck in a group of death with Team BC and Team Saskatchewan. Team PEI's men's team finished 7th, crashing Newfoundland and Labrador's party, beating them in the 7-8 match, 3-2, which got delayed due to a thunderstorm. We were in the 78th minute of the game, and everybody got called off the pitch. Had about a 15-minute break, and everybody came back once again. So there must be something with Team PEI and the weather here in Newfoundland and Labrador. Sent high into the box by Ontario. Bouncing ball, Ontario looked for a handball call. Once again, referee shaking her head. Ontario sending it in, it was Patterson. Now it's Rufer, who scored that gorgeous goal in the 70th minute. Slip through, Ontario might be in for a 4th here as they come down the side. Oh, that's a beautiful pass and a great save by McEachran. Getting her hands up to catch that one.
Continuing to fight against both Team Ontario and the elements here as the rain has really picked up in the last couple of minutes, Seth.
Almost a whoopsie of a pass there for Ontario as Boucher will clear it. And keeper-to-keeper play as McEachran will send it right back. Bouncing ball sent ahead, popped up in the air once again. It's going to be Ford who heads that away. Now here comes Team Ontario slipping it through. The flag stays down. Ontario's in. Maybe a chance for them. Oh, it's just wide. Capola tapping the 2010, an underager on this Ontario squad. Just putting it wide, and PEI getting it moving quickly.
And you see her just down to the knees, head on the turf. Oh, how did I let that opportunity slip through? Regardless of the score, regardless of the game, everybody wants to score goals at the Canada Games.
Passed up the middle. It's Menard moving up. Chopping it through. Maybe another chance for Team Ontario as they're in, and it's in! Ontario have another. Sydney Taylor, the substitute, coming in and making it 4.
What a job on that angle on the shot. Deep all the way into the back touchline here. And still able to get this one away. Send it across the face of goal, past the keeper, off the post, over on the far side, and in. Lovely touch as Ontario gets a couple more here in the second half, now up 4-0 on Prince Edward Island.
And he got the friendly bounce as well off that post. 4-0.
Yeah, absolutely lovely finish, just great touch on that one from Taylor.
So punted away by Team Ontario. Bouncing ball makes its way back. And here they come once again.
Well, as we've said, things like goals and goal difference do make a difference, or certainly can, in the preliminary round. So Ontario not going to shut this thing down. If things are going their way, they're going to put as many on the board as they can here.
And we talked about it, you know, the stereotype of the players on Ontario saying, oh, it must be easy to be on a team this good. But you got to think about it. These girls had to try out with probably thousands of other girls in that big province. So it wasn't easy to make the team. And obviously it helps that you got such a great team. But it's not easy to get your spot on this team and even get into the starting 11, even if you're on the team.
No, absolutely. And a powerhouse team as Ontario usually is, but yes, you're right. When you have to go into that sort of a situation with so many people to compete against, it is a tremendous, tremendous, you know, honor for these players and quite the feather in the cap just to be here and be able to wear the jersey and walk out for the opening of the game. Take nothing away from the ladies who have made the Prince Edward Island team as well. You know, we know these are fantastic athletes too.
Absolutely.
But they didn't have to go through quite as many cuts in order to get this far.
Absolutely, and they're not giving up. That's the way of those Islanders in PEI. They're still not giving up, even though they're down 4-0 here in this game. And Ontario's still pushing for some offense, but PEI still relentless. This PEI squad, as you mentioned earlier, full of multi-sport athletes on this team. And it seems like the maritime provinces, you know, not everybody does just one thing. You know, everybody on these teams are octo-threats. They do multiple sports, probably play multiple instruments, do multiple activities.
Now, it is the way it goes. You look down the lineup for Prince Edward Island, Curly, PEI Intermediate Basketball Champion earlier this year, Mazarol, Ringette Champion last year, as well as winning gold at the Acadian Games in track and field. You know, just all over the place. I see hockey on the list for some of the other players as well.
Yeah, Kendall Ford is an Atlantic hockey champion in 2024.
So, yeah, multiple sports, multiple threats, lots of skills. They can get it done all over the place.
So PEI looking to get the ball moving up. It's turned over to Ford, but it'll roll out of play, and this will go PEI's way. Put back into play, Reardon attempting to get it, punted way ahead. And the flag's up, offsides coming up against Team Ontario.
Well, Mise just a little bit too far down the pitch, awaiting the pass as we go into the final minute here, regular time in the second half.
Sent out of play by Team O. PEI getting the throw, and again, not giving up. They want to score.
Nope. Can they find the net here in the final minute? Break up that clean sheet.
Goes out of play once again. PEI will throw it in. Pops up in the air, headed down, cleared away by Team Ontario. Now it's Ford attempting to play it back in, and this will go Ontario's way.
Yeah, a little bit too much in the battle, and the foul goes the other way. Ontario ball. PEI fighting right to the final.
One additional minute here in this second half of play of the opening game of women's soccer at the 2025 Canada Summer Games. Kicked out of play by Team PEI. Ontario to throw it in. Sydney Taylor working it back for Menard. She'll give it to Roofer. Roofer down the wing. Flag comes up once again against Team Ontario. And most likely the last action of the game. Yes, it will be. So Team Ontario taking the opening game of this tournament by a score of 4-0, but not to take away from Team PEI. They had a fantastic game, and this one kept pushing and did not give up, and that says a lot about their character, Matt.
Real solid for Team PEI, real solid. The defense was amazing. Can't say enough about the goaltending. Couldn't seem to get the offense out of first gear in this game, but nothing to hang their heads about from that game. Very solid.
Well, folks, thank you very much for tuning into this one. Be sure to be kind to one another, stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Our next game up is Nova Scotia versus Yukon at these Canada Summer Games. We got a highlight package coming your way before we go to recap some of the game. Matt?
That was wonderful stuff all the way around. Some great looks. We're going to see a lot of McEachran in the highlight packages, making saves for Team PEI, including that one. She was challenging. This was the very first for Ontario as it spilled onto the ground just off the side and then into the net, touched in there by Cortez Brown. Ontario continues to move, got that one past the goaltender. The slow roller in, and then of course, my favorite of the day, Roofer into the roof, top corner. Wonderfully done by Ontario as they get the win, 4-0 over PEI.
Leave it all on the line. Better believe I'll get mine. Now never it's my time. It's my time. It's my time. I'ma leave it all on the line. Better believe I'll get mine. Now never it's my time. It's my time. It's my time. I'ma leave it all on the line. Better believe I'll get mine. Now never it's my time. It's my time. It's my time.